Hello, welcome to Navigating to Success. I am Focal Point Business Coach Jeff Carlton, and I am pleased to be joined today by Bryce Wuori, CEO of Pavewise in Bismarck, North Dakota. Welcome, Bryce.
Hey Jeff, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us about Pavewise. Give us the big picture of what you do at Pavewise.
Yeah, Pavewise, we're a technology company. We're not trying to create anything new. We're taking innovative technologies into the construction industry, reducing steps, integrating in highly accurate data to make better decisions, kind of revolutionizing the industry with new processes, new technologies like AI.
Okay, is it all? I mean, what's the widget, if you will? Uh, Give me a little more clear picture.
Yeah, the widget that we have that's been most successful, that's really gained a lot of traction is excuse me, the 100% accurate weather that we can collect for decision making, for compliance, those types of things. And we do that through a series of hyperlocal weather stations that are deployed on the site with certified sensors. But that's only a piece of the puzzle. The biggest is we take that data and then tie it to the contract, to the specifications, to OSHA standards, to really identify what is the risk and how do I perform on this in the safest, most efficient manner.
And it's within the construction space. Is it specific to concrete, asphalt? What are we, where are
It,
we living?
it was originally built for asphalt paving because that industry is super sensitive to the environment with hot asphalt and then wind and all these different things that can cause compliance defects and efficiency factors. We found success in that, and that's where it was originally built about 7 years ago. I designed it for my own company to make decisions, and it grew legs, and eventually we found that it worked for anybody who works outside. So we really target horizontal construction, which means roads, bridges. Um, you know, we're concrete. It doesn't matter if you got a big project and weather could impact it, or you need it for documenting compliance. It works for them. So we've moved into a whole industry, a massive industry where we found a void where we can help automate that and make better decisions.
And are you primarily local or are you working national, international?
Yeah, we just sent our first unit international over to Australia here 2 weeks ago. We've
Very
tried to, yeah, we've tried to keep it in, United States, and we're in 18 different states to date here. And our goal is to eventually be in every state and turn it into an international business as we grow and our team expands, and we're ready to do that.
When you talk about the team and expansion, how big are you now?
We just hired a COO yesterday from Texas to come onto the executive team and help guide the finances and just the growth of the company. But we are 8 full-time and 2 part-time, so 10 total.
10 total. And um, it just for my own curiosity, how much time is actually spent on site, or is it all pretty much done in-house and deployed out to the user?
Yep, it's 95% of it is done in-house, and it's a progressive web app, which means you can run it on anything that has internet connection. We do deploy the stations. They set them up in about 5 minutes. I personally like to go out and meet with the customers and go to sites. I'm a third generation construction guy, so I love being out there
Right.
running equipment and stuff. But right now the teams are we got people in Chicago, Texas, across North Dakota and Virginia, and we just work remotely, and we have software engineers that work together, and we just communicate through technologies and just deploy these to our users.
That's a that's kind of striking to me that to be in the construction industry and having found a way to work remote and put a team together remotely. That's it's not what you would expect somebody that's in your space to come back and say. So and it's cool that you've cracked that nut. So how um so this is a really interesting business structure. How do people, how do you think in general the people at Pavewise feel about their work-life balance?
Yeah, work-life balance. We've built a culture here where, we're a startup. We're a technology startup. We're venture backed. It's a fast-paced industry because we get investors that give us money. We grow, grow, grow. We're creating the owner's manual to something that's never been done before. So we don't really have a structure to follow. So there's a lot of, I wouldn't say failure, but there's a lot of learning curves. And when we think about the work-life balance, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. It we try to promote that like we really structure this business as you have a job to do. Um, you have goals. We all have goals. I don't care when in the time of the day that you work, as long as you're getting your things done. And we've always put our core values have been God, family, friends, work, and they should go in that order. And it's different speaking like I'm an entrepreneur. This is my business, right? So I'm constantly I've struggled with work-life balance because I have an engine in my head that just always goes. So I've had to learn ways myself personally to take a break, and I support 100% within our company. Like if somebody's on vacation, we do not they are on
Right.
vacation. So that work-life balance is very important for burnout reasons, just for creating boundaries, all that. And that's one thing we support heavily here at Pavewise.
I think that's important and is often overlooked, especially in the construction industry, in the trades. A lot of times it's get up early, put your hat on, go to work, don't quit until everything's done, and it's a different mindset. And I really appreciate the point you made about creating a culture. It's really important to have an intentional culture within an organization so that people continue to perform at their highest level.
Yeah,
So yeah, hats off to you for doing that.
thank you.
Um, so you mentioned AI earlier. So that's been deployed for better part of a year and a half now. Really, the last 12 months, it's really gotten a lot of traction all of a sudden. How rapidly um, are you employing it? How quickly are you evolving?
Yeah, so us with if we didn't have AI running within the structure of our company right now, from just how our engineers coding to the way we run our CRM, I use Superhuman, which is an AI driven email. I mean, like we would have to probably have the team size of double of what we have right now. So as it is an efficiency tool as the company, it's hands down changed what we can do operationally. Within our software as well, like when it really it comes back to the industry you're in. And when you talk about AI in construction, it's an immediate turn off because a lot of people think of AI and they think of the Terminator and Netscape. I mean, just like all these scientific things, what it is an efficiency tool. And for example, one AI feature that we have in our software is called Spec Chat. It's just like Chat GPT for your contract specifications. The way you're required to build this project, you can talk to it. You can ask it questions, and it gives you answers back with recommendations and references. So instead of having to carry around a book with 1,000 pages that you have to look for the answers, you just ask it, you prompt it, um, and that saves an immense amount of time. It gives you the data you need to make decisions quicker. Um, so that's the way we position ourselves with AI is it's an efficiency tool. And I truly believe AI is going to impact the construction industry significantly because there's an immense amount of data. There's a lot of efficiencies, and those are going to be able to fill those voids very effectively compared to some industries that are already pretty technology advanced. This industry needs it. So that's where we kind of position ourselves. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are, and our software relies heavily on it to be successful.
Well, it's that helps me get a real good picture of what you're doing there because you're right. As a as an engineer myself, I understand how much data, how many volumes of books I've got downstairs in my other office that are filled with, you know, torsion strengths and strength of materials. Uh, and, I guess you could Google search it um, in recent years, but you never really were confident in
Mhm.
the result that you were getting. Whereas you mentioned with the AI, you can talk to it and it'll come back to you with specs and references. Well, now you've got something you can kind of hang your hat on. 'Cause it's coming from ASTM or something like that, you know that you're getting the real deal. So that's pretty cool. So you developed this 7 years ago, right?
Mhm.
The conceptually,
Yep.
when did you when were you able to start incorporating the actual AI as opposed to just internet search?
That's been a ongoing build. We started deploying AI in our software in 2023 um, to start managing data, and that's where AI is really good is being able to manage data. And that then turned into more features. And now we have about three systems in our software to date that use AI pretty heavily or are built on the platform of AI for computer vision, for NL API, for natural language, for talking to a spec book, or the other being just managing, organizing documents. So when you upload a set of plans or a specific document, it can scan it, identify which folder to put it in for you and save you a little bit of time. Um, so honestly, it's been only about 12 to 14, maybe 16 months when we started really dabbling into it and finding ways that our software could use it. But it's been about two years that we've been using it internally with different features from the first release of ChatGPT to Superhuman to some of these other softwares that we use.
Yeah, it's man, it could really change the speed of design and operations. Um, there's a lot of genius to it, and it is you're on the leading edge of it. So I think you're positioned really well for the future. Speaking of that, where do you think what do you think Pavewise is going to look like in 2 to 3 years?
Pavewise, the vision we have for it is we collect some of the most unique niche data for this industry, mostly around really accurate weather data and how the environment impacts these construction projects. And when you start collecting really niche data like that with hyperlocal weathers, that's certified stations and things like that, that data becomes very powerful. Um, so our goal with the company is we're a data company. We collect enough of this data to understand the risks of projects, where what making the connections to, okay, there's an injury on this day due to this condition. Can we proactively look at knowing if this condition is going to happen again? We send out this automated text notification to identify, the group of individuals working of heat exhaustion or just like using data to be smarter. So that's where I think Pavewise is heading right now. We are one of the only companies collecting this kind of data. And I think that data is going to be very powerful and very valuable in the future, especially when we have 1,500 stations deployed, and we're already pushing 500 users. We got about 62 customers across the United States. But the more data we collect with that, the more models we can build, the better decisions. It's just going to keep getting better and more advanced. And that's honestly one of the funnest things about being a startup and an entrepreneur is you never know what door opens and what's behind it. That's kind of the funnest things I have with being an entrepreneur is, there's this other void that we can fill now, or there's this opportunity, and it's kind of like a constant a building. You never stop building.
Right.
It's
Yeah, it does not sleep, especially when you're the one with your hands on the wheel. Um, we talked about it off camera earlier. Are you hiring? And if so, what are you looking for?
Yeah, we are continually hiring. We're growing our engineering team, so software engineers that really enjoy cutting edge technologies. Our development team pushes AI into the building, the coding. So we're always looking for software engineers for API integrations, and then our sales team is growing immensely as well. So anybody interested in software sales, in customer success, just construction in general too. That helps immensely. So those are our key next hires is in the sales, customer success, and then more software engineers.
Very cool. Um, all right. Well, we'll wrap up with one final question. As a startup and a startup tech company, something that you've kind of taken um, right out of the cradle, what what is the one piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur or somebody who's just starting out and it's not going great?
Yeah, it's the beginning's always the hardest, and it never gets completely easy at any point. It's a roller coaster. But going all in is very important. That was one thing I wish I would have done very sooner in my journey was I kind of just dabbled and never went completely all in. Where if I would have did that originally, we'd probably be a lot farther along even now today. So if you have, it doesn't even have to be a good idea. It could be just a better way to do something, or you have a really good feeling, use your gut, like go after it. Like the risk of not doing it is higher than the risk of not ever trying to do it. So it, you know, just put your feet down, grind away, and it'll good things will happen.
Commitment. I
Commitment.
like, I asked a an excavator, a dirt contractor, that question over a year ago, and his answer was very much the same, but it surprised the heck out of me when he said it. He's like, "Don't have a plan B. Burn the
Yep.
boats on the beach.
Yep.
Yep, you gotta be 100. If you're gonna do it, burn the
Yeah.
ships on the
Uh,
shore."
And that's what we exactly had to do. So I owned a construction company and I owned a consulting company. And that's why I could never be fully in on this developing the software company because I always had um, those to fall back on. Where what we finally decided in 2019, no, 2022 was we sold them. We sold them and said, we're putting this in and we're going all in on this. And it's been the best decision I've ever made.
Well, awesome journey, and thank you for joining me on this. Any parting shots before we sign off?
No, just to any entrepreneur, just it's not always an easy. It's not always easy. So one of the biggest things I always say is like if you can connect with community, other entrepreneurs, it can get lonely. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. Use your people around you to really lean on and just keep grinding away and trust the process. Trust the process. That's one of the hardest things is just trust the process and things. If you work hard and you have a good plan, they'll work out.
Wise words, and I think that is important, and it's been echoed several times on this series. Is don't walk alone on this journey. Hey, hire a business coach. He'll help you out along the way. So,
Absolutely.
Bryce, thank you for joining me, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Stay warm up in North Dakota.
Well, we're trying. We're going to get above zero here for the first time this week, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, today's the first day. Matter of fact, I'm looking at a 65-degree temperature swing in the last 24 hours. So,
Yeah. Yep. Stay
all right.
warm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.